if I were a student whose heritage was in this area, and I looked at or heard the lyrics to the song, I would feel very much excluded by them. I don't want to work at an institution where exclusion of particular groups of students is the modus operandi. It's simply not consistent with our educational mission to have a song that is supposed to be in praise of the institution and students and faculty members' affection for it, that seems rather categorically to exclude those who are native to the area, and also to reaffirm as positive and worthy some of what is very problematic historically, and that has entailed the partial destruction of a culture and a way of life, multiple cultures and ways of life. And to my mind, that should not be celebrated in a song that represents our institution.
I wanted to know if they really truly understood what they were singing about. I heard beautiful singing, I just didn't like the lyrics of it. So the poem definitely needs to be changed. So I didn't stand up. I looked around, there was some other people that weren't standing up, and I felt excluded though, knowing what they were actually singing about. And I will continue to sit down until this is changed.
You mean that students are insensitive to people of other cultures? Or
I have a friend who's African American who once told me about this incident when she was walking across campus and some guy rode by on a bike and literally spit on her and yelled something along the lines of "Go back to Africa." And she said that she's experienced a few different occasions of outright blatant discrimination like that before. And yeah, so I think there's definitely a problem with intolerance here.
It's really hard when you're coming from a very diverse state, and then you come here to USD and it's just, not many people of color here, and it's been hard, when you're the only Native person or the only two people of color in your classes.
But I don't feel like there's enough done to kind of incorporate those different groups into the majority groups, and which is kind of sad considering the university strongly encourages diversity, and that's kind of one of their selling points when you apply to the university. So
I think diversity can mean a lot of things because there's different types of diversity. Even on the USD campus, there's ethnic diversity, there's gender diversity. Most importantly, on a college campus, I think there's ideological diversity.
Big into SGA, we have one person of different ethnic race and creed, and that's not completely reflective of our university and school. We have a great variety, but I don't see a lot of it, and I think it's our responsibility to try and bring everybody into it and try to reach out to those groups that aren't being reached out to.
Everybody is an important part in the community, so I think the fact that there's been certain people here that have really tried to promote diversity and engage diversity on campus, and I think saying the big statements about we're inclusive, etc., it's important, but it's really you and me that make it happen every day. And so I think it's a balance. I think it's a balance of you and me making it happen every day, and offering education to maybe those that don't think about it, as well as those of us in administration who are really looking at policy and how it affects our students and staff and faculty.
What would the process be of changing it as far as going through the administration or going through the university? And then I guess who do you have to accept the changes, the fact that you want to change it, and then who do you have to have look at it when it's done to say we accept it?
There really wasn't very much student engagement in the issue, and I think in part that is simply a matter of the place of the alma mater in most students' education, that they don't really become aware of it until they're gone. They get it in their graduation program, and then wow, like I didn't know this was there.
Sure.
And that's not the place to begin to make change. Right?
I have heard other people express concern about the lyrics and that they might be offensive in some ways. But there hasn't been any concerted effort to change the alma mater.
Okay.
The registrar's office is responsible for the graduation program.
Mm-hmm.
So they handle the logistics of that. Much of what they are working with is not generated by them, but still, you'd certainly need the registrar's office to be a player here.
Whereas the University of South Dakota has long cited a commitment to diversity as one of its principal aims, and whereas action on the part of the student body that demonstrates a commitment to diversity would have a profound impact on the perception of the University of South Dakota as an institution. Therefore, be it resolved that the University of South Dakota Student Government Association supports the revision of the current alma mater to better reflect the University of South Dakota's commitment to diversity.
The alma mater should be, any alma mater should reflect, to the extent possible, the values of all of the constituencies. So that would be current students, graduating students, alumni, professors, families of students, the full range of people who would show up to a commencement.
We have to understand that no matter what we engage in, there's always going to be people who will oppose a change for one reason or another, and it's important to understand why they would oppose it, and that's what we'd have to have, the graciousness to listen, and to keep our own emotions in check.
I personally, I don't think the song is meant to be offensive. I don't think it was written to be offensive. Do I think there maybe are a couple of lines that can be amended? Sure. I'm a little averse to the idea of completely revamping the whole song, because I think that will encounter a lot of alumni opposition. I think there's a way we can use the old song with some revisions to both accommodate alumni as well as current students who find some of the stanzas to be offensive.
Whatever the outcomes would be, certainly it's in that process people will become educated over that kind of the kind of lyrics that are in the alma mater song, and so it does set the atmosphere for a discussion, and that can always be a healthy thing.
In order to help the University of South Dakota move into an era of conscious cultural diversity, as so much of recently written university literature discusses, we are petitioning the University of South Dakota Registrar. In changing the alma mater, we can create a start-to-finish university community that is inclusive, accurate, and truly diverse.